Hello everyone, welcome back to our another part of Python series. In today's video, we are going to cover the function of Python. Okay, what is the function? How we are going to call the function? What is return value? Return type? This type of concept we are going to cover today. Okay, parameter, key arguments, and some hands-on practice. After completing the function topic, theory of function, we are going with some hands-on practice, so it gives you more clarity how we are going to use function. Okay, so a basic syntax of Python, you can see that here. This is a function to add two value. Okay, two number. Here you can see that a def means it's if you want to create any function, we have to use def keyword at the starting of and at the header of the function. Def keyword was there. After that, add a comma b means that this was the argument where the value we are going to pass. Okay, and with the indentation space you can see that we are creating a variable c which is store the sum of a plus b. Okay, means that the c variable will store the value of addition of this argument a and b, and after this thing we are going to return the c. Okay, so what is the c? C is simply a plus b, so the value will be returning c. Okay, and after returning the c, we are moving outside the function and we are going to write x equal to add d comma a. Means that take an example like we are going to pass d here, d equal to 2, and let's take e equal to something else like 1. Okay, so it is 2 and this is 1, and here I am writing x is equal to add d comma e. This is the way to call our function add a d comma e. Means we are going to add d and e, value of d and e. So this is a way to call the function. This function will be called and the value of d is 2 and e is 1. So at the very first time the value of a is assumed as 2 and e is 1. After that this function was working, and then this value will be returning, and after that when we are going to print x, the addition of this d and e will be printed. Okay, so what was our agenda today? We are going to learn our function fundamentals. Why we use function, what is the define, how to define function, everything, this type of thing at the very first time we are going to cover. After that we are going with a return value, data flow, and if I am writing print in function, so what's happen if I am writing return, then what's happened. So difference between print and return inside the function. Okay, and after that we are going with parameter, argument, and some keywords. Okay, so this all type of thing we are going to cover, and after completing this all three part we are going with a very important thing which was practice. Okay, practice and debugging. We are going to check this code was written, code was correct or not. If wrong, so uh, you have to write the correct one. Okay, so let's start with our video. So our first question is what is function? If you know what is function, then please comment, and if you don't know, let's see what is function. So in simple words you can say that a function is block of organized code. Okay, means that here in this example you can see that it's a organized block of code. It's a single block. Okay, and it's a block of code. It's a block of code of addition of a and b, means addition of two number. Okay, which are the parameter. The same thing was written here. A function is a block of organized reusable code designed to perform a specific task. Okay, means that if you want to use function, uh, you have to simply call the function, and it's not given that you have to call function only in two time, only three time. you can call the function at many number of time, at infinite number of time. Is this function is needed to print, then we have to call the function. Okay, why we are going to use function, what is the importance of function? So here you can see that it improves code readability. Code readability means it will be decreases the line of code. Okay, and how it will decrease the line of code? Here you can see that we are going to write a function which is define hello world. Okay, and if I'm calling the define hello world, what should be printed? Hello world will be printed, good morning will be printed, have a nice day will be printed, and the function ends will be printed. Okay, these all four things are printed. If I am if I want again to print this all thing, so what can I do? Again I am calling my function simply, but if I am not creating function, so what can I do? I am writing this 4 line again to print. Okay, so this will be gives you 8 line, but here you can see that only 1 2 3 4 5 line was there and 6 line was printing. And if I want 8 times, so again we are calling our hello world function. Okay, so simply it will improve code readability. It gives you readability, reduce the size of you can say that reducing the size of our program, our code. Okay, improve reusability, we can call the same logic anywhere, anytime. Okay, not anytime, if needed we are going to call the function. Making debugging easier means that if something was wrong, some error you are going to face, so it will be easy to check where in this in your code, in the function, what logic is wrong and what thing you are going to miss. So this all the things are the uses of function. Okay, how we are going to use function, this all facility function will provide you. Okay, reduce reduce code side by replacing duplicate statement with call. I can explain this how. So let's talk about what is the syntax. Although we are going to we are seeing the syntax, how we are going to write the syntax of, but here we are moving with more detail how we are going to write the syntax. Okay, at a very first time the keyword def always start the function header. Okay, so this def will be the header of header and starting of our function. So def is a keyword which help to start the function. Okay, and the function name function and the same rule as any Python identifier and should be unique. Okay, means that this thing will be the parameter we are going to provide here. uh, Not a parameter, this function name we are going to provide here, it should be unique in our code. Okay, it's not be same, means that if two function was there, so we are going to give the name as a function was as fun1 and the second as fun2. It's not like both are fun and fun. Okay, it's just an example. Okay, so you can create a function with any name you want. The same thing, the same rule will be applied here of creating variable. Okay, so the function should not start with 1. So this type of all the thing will be applied here also. Okay, because this is also, you can say that in simple word, it's also a variable. Although it was not a variable, but you can simply apply all the variable rules to creating a variable rule. So all the thing will be applied here in the function name. Okay, after that we are going in with parenthesis, and we are going with parameters. Okay, in this parameter we are going to pass our value or argument. Okay, inside this parameter. So here you can see that parameter argument in the parentheses are optional. Okay, means that if it was not given, no problem, not at all, but it's if you gives the parameter, so it will be gives you code readability. Okay, so my suggestion is that too you can use the parameters and arguments. Okay, and after writing this thing we are going with a colon start the function block. Okay, this will be a way to start the function block. I think you will remember in every type of thing, means if I am using if block, else block, elif block, and for loop, while loop, we are going with this. Okay, this colon was there because this is a way to start anything. Okay, starting the block of for, starting the block of if, starting the block of elif, else, and here we are also using colon because the block of function will be started from after this. Okay, so after this yeah, you can say that space was there. This was a tab space. So okay, so indent after the after the indentation space, we are going to write what we are going to do. Okay, so our statement was written in this line. After that, we are going to return our expression or print our expression as per your requirement. Okay, so this all for about the syntax of Python. Let's see the return statement, how return statement will be work. So in a simple word, you can say that here you can see that firstly take an example. So after that we are going to see how the statement will be work. A return statement. So here we are writing a def keyword. Okay, at a very let's take a how we are going to create a variable. Okay, after that we are going to see the return type. So I am like opening my Python classes with Visual Studio Code. Okay, so here I'm creating a new file named as function.py. Okay, function.py, and here we are going out to our write our code of function. Okay, so let's write the code of function. So how we are going to create a function? Let's create a function which print any type of thing, print anything. Okay, a simple type of, let's take first. So for this, at a very first time we are going to write here def keyword. Okay, which means the starting of definition, definition of keyword. After that the function name. So let's take an example of anything. Okay, function name was there, and after that a parenthesis we are going to pass nothing. Okay, why we are going to pass nothing? Because see here, after this all thing we are going to print hi. Okay, after that what we are going to do? We are going to print this is Python class. Okay, so how we are going to call this function? To call this function, we are going to write simply function name. After that, this thing. Then if I'm run this code, you can see that the output will be printed hi, and this is Python class will be printed. Okay, so you can see that here the simple thing will be printed. Nothing will be difficult here for your work. Make a function, a simple type of function, this thing. Okay, we are not passing any argument here, any parameter here, but this function will be running. Okay, the same thing I want to tell you. Okay, so let's see the return statement, because here you can see that we are not using return state. Here you can see that we are not using return statement here. No return was there. Okay, I think you can see that no return value was there. Here print was there. What happened if I am writing return here? Okay, return, and what I am going to return? The thing will be written after this. Okay, so if I am store my value as a equal to this. Okay, and when I am returning a, so let's see what was the output. So you can see that our output is only this is Python class. Okay, simple thing was there. So why we are going to write this, although it was not working. So let's see this thing, how we are going to use the return value, how we are going to use return type. Okay, so let's see that here the return statement of function was there. We are going to create a function which was starting with def. You know that def, a def function was there. You can give any name to a function. Okay, means that add average. Okay, although it gives you readability. And after that we are going with a parameter, passing parameter a and b. We are going to return a plus b comma, and after that a plus b divided by 2 was there. Okay, means that this will be returning 2 value. So now see how we are going to return type work. In simply you can say that exit the current function and transfer control back to the caller. Okay, means that if I am printing thing, means that the operation we are going to perform, it will be printed and it will be not stored in anything. Okay, but if we return the thing, this value will be, after calculating the value of this thing, it will be gives the value to this. Okay, it pass the value to the function, but print will not pass the value to the function. It will be simply called. If you call the thing, it will be printed. If you not call it, not printed. But here return was there, so that we have to call the call, not we have to call the function only. We have to print the function. Okay, because only return was there. We are going to write to print this. After that, a function was there. And after this thing, we are return can be evaluated, expresses or a value directly. Okay, it will be expressed. You can see that here it will be expressed directly, not stored in any other value. On a barrier return no expression, return none. Okay, the value will be, return value will be not none. It will be if it will be none, it will be not printed anything. If like print, it will be not print none. Okay, a function with a non-return statement or at all also return none. Okay, Python function can return multiple value at once. I think you understand all these 5 points. Okay, because this all 5 points are important about the return statement. This all five point was does not very hard or very difficult. It was simply want to say that what return do. So return will be simply returning the value, and print will be print the value. Okay, when you return the thing, it will be stored and move the control back to the function. Okay, or you can say that back to the caller. Okay, this thing will be returned do. Here you can see that after that we are going to create another function which was sub a comma b. We are going to return a minus b. Okay, means that if I am calling this, minus will be printed, and after that we are going to multiplication was there, so it will be returned as multiply. Okay, and after that what we are going to do, here you can see that we are going to take input from user, and after taking input from user we are going to write. You can take any name of input, it will be not gives you error like here CD was there and here AB was there, so it will gives you error. Okay, it's not like that, it will be understand how we are what you are going to do, because this was a parameter. Okay, so after that we are going to print the thing. Okay, simply call was not there, although the call was there here. Okay, you can see that the call was here, because we have to write to this thing, that's why we are writing print, and also print the value of this after calling the add of a comma b. Okay, let's see the output of this code. So let's write the code in our Visual Studio. So let's comment out this one, this all, and after that we are going to let's remove this thing. Okay, so we are going to write our code here. So let's write the thing. Firstly, I am going to create a function uh, named as sum avg, means sum, and after that we are going to print the average. Okay, let it be like that. After that parenthesis was there, and inside the parenthesis we are going to write the our argument like a comma b was there, and after that we have enter inside the block of the function, and here we are going to write return, and what we want to return, we simply want to return two things. Okay, so at the very first time we want average, sorry, we want sum, after that we want the average. Okay, so both things we are going to write here, not here, here. So I am writing a plus sorry, a plus b here. After that what we are going to print, after returning a plus b, we are going to return a plus b divided by the number 2. Okay, so a plus b divided by 2 was there, we are going to return a plus b, then a plus b divided by 2, it will gives you the return value. And let's create another function which return you subtraction. Okay, so I am writing sub here, subtraction of, let's take parameter ab although also here, and after that I am going to return what we are going to return here, we are going to return here a minus b. Okay, then another function was also there. Let's take another function as multiply. Okay, okay, so mul was there, then after that a parameter, we are going to pass the parameter of a comma b. Why a comma b parameter was there, because this parameter will be we are going to perform the task in according to this parameter, the value will be passes to this parameter, after that the uh, performance will be performed here. Okay, so what this function will be gives you, this function gives you multiplication of a and b. After writing all the function, how we are going to call? Okay, so if I am writing sum of sum average, okay, not sum of, sum average, so does it is it gives you any type of value? Let's see. So no value was there. Let's pass the parameter like 5 comma 6. Okay, let's run our code again. So here you can see that nothing will be there, and not a error you are getting. Why this all thing were there? Because called was performed, okay, but why it was not visible? Because we are not writing print here. So let's write print, okay. This thing I want to show you why we are writing print here. So you can see that 11 comma 5.5 was there. So 11 was the sum of 5 and 6, and 5.5 was the average of 5 and 6, which was 5.5. You know that, okay. So that's why we are writing print here. If I am writing print at this place, okay, if I am writing print at this place, so what we have to do? We have to simply we have to simply do a thing. The thing was like let's write and see how it will be work, okay. So let's take print was there, and the bracket of print was also there, okay. So when I am writing this thing, okay, let's run the code and see. Here none was there, okay, because it was print. So that's why as none was, although this will be printed, and after because of this, and for this print this none value will there, okay, none value will be printed. So let's see uh, how we are going, if you want to use print, how we are going to write. So for using print we are going to write like that, okay. It's a simple, we are going to call the function, not printing the function. So it will be gives you the value, okay. So 11 and 5.5 was there. The same thing I want to tell you. These are the only difference between the print and the return type, okay. Sum and average, okay. So we have to do a thing, we have to write the thing taking input integer from user to perform tasks on that value, okay. So let's write this thing. Let it be C, okay, not the same thing we are going to take here, okay. I want to show if it was recommended that this C will be equal to A, and the another variable we are going to pass was this, okay. It will be not same, so it doesn't matter. Let's see this thing, okay. So I'm passing C equal to input from user, okay. So input we are going to take from a user, enter first number. We are going to enter the first number here. After that we are going to enter the second number, which let's take D was there. The thing was very simple here, okay. Nothing was difficult in this thing. If you face any type of problem, please comment, so I will reply you, I will solve your doubt. So I am passing C comma D here. Why C comma D here? Because C and D was there. And if I am calling the function using C and D, this will be called as this will be not called as CHD, this will be always called as A and B. But the thing was there, the value of C will be passes to A and the value of D will be passes to value of B, okay. This thing was there. Let's see. So let's take a first number as 5, second number as 6. So you can see that the sum and average are printed, which was 11 and 5.5 was there, okay. So let's print all the thing. let's print subtraction. Okay, and after that what we are going to do, we are going to call our function. So what was our function? Our function was sub. You can see that here sub was there, and here we are going to pass our parameter. So what was the parameter? Not parameter, because this parameter we are not going to pass. We are going to pass the value of c and d. Okay, so that's why we are going to write here c comma d. Okay, so that's why c comma d was there. After that we are going to print our another function which was multiplication. So multiplication was there, so we are going to write the call the function with mul. After that we are going to pass here not a comma b, c comma d. Okay, so let's run the code and see the output. Let it be 6 and 5. Okay, so you can see that why I'm writing 6 and 5, because I don't want the thing in negative. Subtraction will be not in negative, that's why I'm writing 6 and 5. If I'm writing 5 and 6, then minus 1 will be our output. Okay, this thing you, I think you know. And after that we are, you can see that a multiplication was 30. 5 multiplied with 6 is 30, and subtraction was 1, and here you can see that sum and average was also there. So let's just see another thing. Let's pass it as a comma b. What it will be gives you? It will be gives you error. It will be gives you name error. Parameter was not there. Thing will be not exist. What variable not defined. What the thing of error you are going to face. And if the function called, we are going to with a parameter a and b, you can see here. Let's take an example again. 6 and 5 was there, so you can see that a was the name error, because this a was not defined. You can see that name a is not defined. After, if I am removing a, then it will be gives you error for b. So both a and b are not defined, because you know that you can understand a simple thing like there are two type of variable. First is global variable and second is local variable. Okay, if I am writing any variable, I am creating any variable outside the function, it's become a global variable. But if I am writing any type of you can say that any type of function, so what will it gives you? Any type of variable inside the function, it's a local variable. What is the means local variable and global variable? We will discuss this in more detail, but for that time you can simply say that local variable means putting something inside the creating variable inside the function, it will be only printed inside the function. If the function is ended, it means the variable will be ended. Okay, and the global variable means that the global variable will be applied inside the function, outside the function, anywhere we are going to apply the very global variable. But so the this is the local variable, so the local variable will be not we are going to print outside the function. Okay, so the thing was that you can see that here. I think you understand this, all the thing how we are going to all the thing about the function, how we are going to pass the thing, what is the thing, and what is the return type, what is print, how print will be work, when the value will be null and when the value will be sorry, not null, when the value will be none. Okay, so let's discuss about parameter and argument. What is parameter and argument? What the basic difference of what is the major difference between this parameter and argument? Okay, So in a simple word, you can say that uh, this and this part is the parameter, and if I am passing value of outside the thing, means that it will be the argument. Here you can see that this Alice and 25 are the argument. So here you can see that definition was also there. Parameter, what is parameter? At a very first thing was parameter. After that, argument was there. Okay, what is parameter? So parameter is a named placeholder listed in a function definition. Okay, act like a local variable holding the value it received. Okay, means that this thing valve, the thing which was written inside the parameter is known as the inside the parenthesis, not a parenthesis, this bracket was there. Okay, inside this bracket the thing will be written is known as parameter. The parameter of any you can say that it's also a variable, and it will be local variable. Okay, so if you want to call this thing outside the function, it will be not gives you any type of output, it will be gives you error, and the name error was that this thing I have shown you. Okay, and what is the argument? The argument is the actual value passed into the function when it call. Okay, so same thing I am going to tell you here. Let's see this example and understand how we are going to what is the difference between parameter and argument, which thing are going to called as parameter and which thing was going to called as argument. Okay, so let's see this. Let's comment out this our code, this comment this code. After that, make sure that any line will be not missed, because if I forget to comment out this line, okay, it will gives you error. Okay, so here you can see that we are going to face error. So make sure that we are going to comment the previous code. Let's write the code for this. What was that? We are going to create a function with a greet named, and named and age we are going to pass. Okay, and after that what we are going to do, we are going to print name of hello and name. Your age is your age, not age, you are itna year old. Okay, so at the place of name the value of this will be there, and the place of age the value 25 will be there. So how we are going to write this thing? So let's write this thing. Here we are going to create a function which was starting with a def keyword. Okay, so def keyword was there. After that I am going to write my thing. The thing was like define, and after that I am going to write the thing. Greet was there, means that we are going to greet someone hello or namaste or this type of thing as the greet. Okay, so now let's pass the parameter as the name, and the another parameter was age. Okay, so these are the two parameter. After that what we are going to do, we are going to simply print the thing inside the f string. Why we are going to use the f string? Because we want to print some variable, not variable, some string. After that we are going to pass the value and then some string all after this, and after that thing was there. Okay, so let's write your name is, and we are going to pass the value of name here. Your name is name, and you are, the age was there, so here the age will be you are, let's take a 17. So you are 17-year old. And after that we are going to simply call our function. So how we are going to call our function? Because print was there, so simply we are going to not write print, we are going to write greet here. Okay, we are going to simply call the we are not going to print the call of function, we are going to simply call the function. Okay, so let's pass the parameter argument, because parameter was this, you can see that name and age was the parameter and argument we are going to write here. Okay, so let's take name as Alice because it was given, and the age was let's take 17. Okay, if I am run the code, let's see the output. Here you can see that we are facing error because this is a string, so we have to make it as a string. Now you can see that the thing was printed. Your name is Alice and you are 17-year old. Okay, the thing you are going to write here, it will be printed. The value of the name Alice will be passed to the value name, and the 17 was passed to what the thing happened. Okay, so this thing will be like that. Okay, nothing more difficult, nothing is like mind blowing, and the not a rocket science was there. Okay, so let's see, I think you understand what is the difference between parameter and argument, where we are passing argument and where we are passing a parameter. Okay, so and when parameter is required, when parameter is not required. If you don't write the parameter, it will not give you any type of error. And so this all are the thing about parameter and argument. Okay, so take a example, take a practice example, and we are going to write a function with argument. Okay, so we are going to pass two argument, and we are going to, although I think we have performed this thing. Yes, we have done this thing in our first slide with our example. Okay, this thing was also there. So let's see how the thing will be written. So here you can see that task was 2. We are going to complete the add function. So it take two parameter a and b. Okay, we are going to take to create a function which take two parameter a and b and add them. Okay, add them, we are going to perform addition between these two parameter. Okay, and result and return the result, we are going to return, not going to print. Okay, and call it by passing argument d and e, and we are going to call the thing, and after that then print the result. Okay, so we are going with the stepwise. At the very first time we are going to create two variables. Okay, D and E was created, which both are the integer and input from the user side, and after that the function was there which add the two numbers. Def add a comma b was the parameter. So perform addition on a and b, we are going to perform the addition on the a and b parameter. So c equal to a plus b, and here I am returning c, because what is the c? The c was addition of a and b. And if I am want to call the function, at here you can see that because in the question it's mentioned that we are going to call it by passing argument d and e. So at a very first time here you can see that x variable we are going to create and initiated with calling the thing. Okay, add d and e means that we are going to call this add function. So the after the calling this thing, the value will be stored in the x, and after doing completing this all the thing, we are going to simply print our x. So the value of addition of this d and e will be printed. Okay, these are the simple one. Let's see what is positional versus keyword argument. What is positional argument and what is keyword argument? Let's see this thing. Okay, so here you can see that positional argument is the position based, and the keyword argument is let's see how the thing will be written, and which thing will be called as how we are going to write position argument, how we are going to pass position argument, how we are going to uh, pass keyword argument. Okay, so another argument was there, which was default argument. Okay, so default argument is written here, and let's see how position argument we are going to write, and how keyword argument we are going to write. So in simple word you can say that, let's see here. If I am not writing this, okay, let's take example, this was not there. No, not, don't see in this, don't it gives you difficult to understand. Let's see here. Here we are going to define, we are going to create a function which was evaluate boy is rich, is young, is handsome. Means that it will check what the boy is, it if it is rich, young or handsome. Okay, so if is rich, okay, so we are going to print, means that if this condition will true, we are going to print this. If this condition was true, we are going to print this. If this condition was true, we are going to print good looking. Okay, so when we have evaluate not evaluate, we are going to call our function. You can see that is handsome, we are going to pass the value is handsome equal to true, is young equal to false. Means that we are going to give here what was this. Okay, so it's meant it was the key argument. Okay, we are going to pass the value inside the key, so it will the key argument. And what is positional argument? Positional argument is simple, like here you can see that a was there and b was a parameter, and here I am passing d and e. So here positional argument will be work. The d position was the first position and a position was the first position, so the value of d will be moving to the value of a, and the value of e will be moving to the value of b, because it's work in the position. Okay, at first position was the gives the value to first argument, and second position argument will be given to the b. Okay, which was the second. Okay, first give to first, second give to second is the position argument. Okay, and key argument means that we are going to pass the thing, like we are going to say that here the thing was there, a equal to 10 and b equal to 20, b equal to 20 and a equal to 10. If we are going to pass the value of a and b, means that it was the key argument. If we are going with only position, like at a very first position, uh, here you can see that vote id, name, age. Okay, so name will be the first and the second will be the first value we are going to pass is for name, and the second value we are going to pass is for age. Okay, but if we write a equal to 10, b equal to 20, or b equal to 20, a equal to 10, both was the gives you a result as it will be not a positional. Okay, so here the value of a will be 10 always and b is 20. Okay, so these are the key argument and positional argument. And another thing was the default argument. What is default argument? Default argument is simple, like the thing will be passes, the value will be passes here. Okay, the key, let's take is reach equal to true was written here. Okay, is true equal to sorry, is reach equal to true was there. So what does it mean? It means that the simple thing means that it was the default value. Means every time uh, if the thing was not passes, the value will be not passes, means that if it will be always true, okay, until unless we are going to write the false, okay. So this was the all thing about how we are going to, what is positional argument, keyword argument and default argument, okay. So let's see another example of another, not example, it's a different thing. It's a asterisk, okay, means that we are going to represent this with a star, okay. So what is asterisk, how we are going to write this? So if you don't know the number of thing we are, how many number of thing we are going to pass, how many variable we are going to pass inside the variable, then we use this stars, okay. So it will create the function with asterisk, okay. So the same thing will be written here. Placing an asterisk which was represented as star before parameter in a function define forces every parameter after it will be passed by keyword only, okay. Positional call raise a type error, means that if you write the thing with this, it means that now we are not able to call the thing by position argument. We have to write uh, key argument, okay. So here we are going to, if you want to call this function of passing the argument, then the only way to pass the argument is we are going to write use keyword only, okay. Key argument we are going to use age equal to age, name equal to name, name equal to name, age equal to age, okay. This type of thing we are going to write here. So here you can see that def keyword was there, def name is, let's write this code, okay. After that the practice, we are going to start with our practice problem. So I attach too many practice problem, hands-on practice problem, so it will gives you a very type of experience logic building also. And after that we are going with key takeaway, means that we are going with in a quick recap, okay. So where I am, we are here, we are in the key argument only, okay. Keyword only argument means that we are going with to use only key argument, and positional argument will be not applied here. How we are going to do this thing, uh, with writing this star symbol here in the parameter, okay. So let's do one thing, let's copy this code, okay. And now we are going to print this in here and see how the thing will be work, how we are going to write the thing. Now let's see, a def was there, def name is, means that this was the name is a function, okay. And the star was there, means that if I'm trying to call the thing using only using position argument, means that if I'm write like that, let's comment out this thing. So name is was there, and after that how what if I am going to write here, name is, after that age comma name, or name comma age, anything, like let it be name comma age. So it will be not to gives you the value. Why the thing was like that? The thing was let's give the thing ram patch, okay, 56. So here you can see that type error was there, because here we are passing this thing, this make this thing this make this all the code as a called by uh, keyword only, okay. So we have to write the thing like this, okay. we have to write the thing like this: age equal to age, name equal to name. We are going to pass the thing, okay? That then and then only the thing will be printed. So let's see the thing first. After that we are going to see the output, okay? So define name age was there, name and age we are going to pass in the parameter. After that we are going to print simply name and age, okay? So name equal to input name, age equal to integer input age, and after that we are going to call name equal to name, age equal name equal to name, age equal to age, name equal to n. Means that the very first time age will be there and name was after this age, and the second time name was at the very first, and after that age was there, okay? Well, at again RAM and 55, then you can see that uh, uh, RAM and 55 was there, okay? So we are using here what type of thing? Keyword. So keyword means that if I am passing age equal to age here at a starting or at a second line, it doesn't matter. It gives you at the very first time name was printed, and after that it will be printed, okay? It will be not like that if कि हम लोग एज यहाँ पे पहले लिखें तो पहले एज प्रिंट हो जाएगा, और आप उसके बाद हम लोग नेम लिखें तो नेम प्रिंट हो जाएगा। ऐसा नहीं है, हम लोग पहले क्या करते हैं, हम लोग पहले पहले हमारा नेम ही प्रिंट होगा और पहले हमारा उसके बाद हमारा एज प्रिंट होगा, क्योंकि हम लोग यहाँ पे क्या यूज़ किए हैं, हम लोग यहाँ पे यूज़ किए हैं कीवर्ड, ओके? अगर पोजिशनल रहता तो डेफर कर सकता था, बट यहाँ पे पोजिशनल हम लोग नहीं यूज किए, हम लोग की यूज किए हैं, तो दैट्स व्हाई it was like that. It will be not printed the thing, it will be not printed the thing like with the position after the thing, okay? Let's do one thing to understand this. So let's see the output of this, and keep it this thing in your mind, and let's remove this thing, okay? Let's remove. When I'm removing this thing, I'm going to simply call the thing which was this, and here I'm writing the, sorry, we are going to call the function. So let's pass the value, the value as name as ram. Here I am using what I am using, it's a position, okay? Positional argument we are going to use. Ram was there, after that age was, you can say that 96, okay? And after that again we are going to call name as then I am going to write 96, and after that name was ram, okay? So let's run the code and see how the thing will be printed. Sorry, we have to write age here, and after that we have to write name here, because the thing was in, we are going to take input from user, okay? We are not going to pass the value. So let's run the code again and see the output. So let's name is ram and the age is 96, okay? So I can see that ram, because we are using positional, that's why at a very first position I am passing name, after that age, so name was there and then age was there, and in next line I am passing age, after that name. So at a very first name was there and uh, age was there, and after that name was there. So this is the position and this is the keyword, okay? So I think you understand the difference between keyword and the position, okay? So now let's see the next part or the next thing, which was our solving our practice problem. So let's start with our practice problem. Our first question is about to biodata function, okay? Means it's a very simple type of thing, just like basics, okay? So let's read the problem statement. After that we are going with how we are going to solve this question, okay? So what we have to do, here you can see that we have to define a function named as biodata. Okay, make sure that the name that was given in the to create a function named as biodata, we have to use that name. Okay, so here the name was biodata. Okay, define a function biodata. Inside the function by body, we are going to print the line, hello, I am Python programmer. Okay, we are going to print, hello, I am a Python programmer, and at the end we are going to call the function so that the text will be displayed. So let's write this code. Let's start our VS Code. After that we are going to write our logic. Although there is no logic in this question, so in this question you can say that we are going to simply print the thing, uh, print the statement. Let's comment out our old code, and after that we are going to write here practice questions. Okay, so write this in comment. practice Practice questions. So let's start our with question number 1. So what was our first question? Our first question was a very simple one. What we have to do, we have to simply define a function named as biodata, and after that we are going to print, hello, I am a Python programmer. Okay, so we are going to create a function. How we are going to create a function? Using def keyword. Okay, that's why I am writing def. After that the name of function, which was biodata, it's given in the question, and after that this thing, a colon was there, then indentation space, and the body of function we are going to write after this whole thing. So what we have to do, we have to simply print, what we have to print, we have to print, hello, I am a Python programmer. Okay, so let's write this thing, hello, I am a Python programmer. Okay, so here let I be the capital, and after this line we have hello. After hello we have a comma. You can see that here a comma is there after hello, and then I was a capital, I'm a Python programmer. Then what we have to do, sorry, now see here, what we have to do, what we are going to print in this line. If I am run this code, is it gives any type of value? No, it will not giving you any type of value. Why it was like that? Because we missed the function call. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to call the our function. Simply because print was there, it's mean that we are not going to print biodata. Okay, if return was there, then and then only we are going with the print biodata. But here the print statement was written, so that's why what we are going to do, we are going to simply write here the call our function, means biodata is a function name. So biodata and the function. Okay, because it was a function, that's why this thing was there. Okay, so you can see that after writing this thing, I am going to run my code. Okay, so what was our expected output? The expected output was sorry, here explain, not exclamation mark, I was there. Okay, I am a Python programmer, not exclamation mark. I'm a Python programmer. Okay, So here what I'm going to write, I'm going to write a define biodata print hello I am a Python programmer, then biodata. So what was our output? Our output was simply like hello I am a Python programmer, because we are going to simply call the function, and inside the function this thing will be printed. So that's why the statement which inside the parenthesis was printed as it is. Okay, so that's why here hello I am a programmer was printed. Simple one. Let's move to our next second problem. So let's write here question number 2, and after that we are going to write our second code. Let's see what is our second question. For that, moving to our slide, and now here you can see that our next is also a simplest one, because in this function we have to do nothing, simply it's an intro function. Okay, means that we are going to give the introduction of someone and something. What we have to do in this function, you can see that here we are going to define a function intro, means that the name of function is intro. After that we are going to, inside the function body, we are going to print the line welcome to Python programming. Okay, after that at the end what we are going to do, we are going to call the function, so the text will be displayed. Okay, if you not call the function, then what will be happen, our text will be not explained, although the function was created was to, if you not print something or not return something, then how it will be displayed. Okay, so that's why we are going to simply call our function. So our sample was like we are going to print welcome to Python programming. Okay, the simple text was there, so let's write here define, let's define our function name as intro. So that's why intro was there. After that what we are going to do, we are going to do it with a indentation space. After that we are going to print what we are going to print, welcome to Python programming. Yes, welcome to Python programming. So let write it here, welcome to Python programming was there. Okay, then after that what we are going to do, we are going to simply call our function, because if you don't call our function, it will not print anything, because it will inside the function. If I'm not writing this part, so then it will be gives you the correct code, but to make sure that this indentation space was also not there. Okay, if I run my code, then you can see that the same thing that we are expecting is printed. Okay, but we have to use function to print these simple things. Okay, so that's why we are going with the indentation space here and make it a uncomment. After that we are going to simply call our function. Our function name was intro, so simply we are going to write here intro, and after that function was there. Okay, so you can see that when I run my code, you can see that here welcome to Python world will be printed, although the same thing will be printed using a simple print method, but this was also easiest one. Okay, so the same thing was written here, print intro was there, and after that a colon was there. This is a why I'm attaching this type of question. This was a all the very simplest type of question, because this type of question gives you a way to how we are going to write our function. Okay, this help you to understand the syntax of a function, how we are going to write start our writing syntax. Okay, so that's why define intro was there, and we are going to write welcome to Python programming, and we are simply go with call of the function which was intro. So that's why the output was there. Okay, now moving to our next part, and here from here we are going to use, also going to insert argument and all the things. So let's see how we are going to pass the parameter and argument, because this thing this question gives you clarity of that how we are going to how uh, parameter and argument we are going to pass in the function. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to, in this question we are going to perform a bitwise operation, bitwise and or and XOR we are going to perform in this question. Okay, the simplest one I am told you in my previous classes in bitwise operators. I told you what are the AND operator, how it will work, what is bitwise or bitwise and bitwise XOR. Okay, so you all know the difference of between AND or XOR. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to simply take two integer x and y from the user. Okay, we are going to take input from the user which is integer type. Okay, after that we are going to define three functions. Okay, first function shows the AND operation, second is OR operation, third is XOR operation. And after that what we are going to print, the print result of x and y. First is OR and no, sorry. Here you can see that first one is AND, second is OR, which is here, and third is XOR. Okay, I think you remember this all type of symbol which represent what. Okay, so it will a bitwise OR, it will be bitwise and it is a bitwise XOR. Okay, so now here you can see that we are going to simply input from user, and after that output was there which represent that this was the AND operation. We will get 2, and if we perform OR operation we get 7. After when we perform XOR operation we will get 5. The number was same, 6 and 3. This both three operation were performed using only these two numbers. Okay, so let's write a simple code for this thing also. Okay, so let's comment out this code, and now we are going to understand how the parameter and argument will work. Okay, so firstly our task is to take two input from user named as x and y. Okay, two input integers from user. Okay, so let's create two variable. First is x equal to in sorry integer input. Okay, integer input and enter a first number. Let's say or is anything inside this sample. No, nothing was inside the sample. Like we are going to say the user to input this, input that. Okay, so let's take it as a enter number, enter first number. Okay, enter first number was there. So user will understand what we are going to put here. Okay, and after that we are going to create another variable named as y. So because two, we are going to take two variables from the user side. So that's why y was also there. Okay, so integer input, we are going to take input from user, and after that we are going to do enter your second number. Okay, the simple thing was also this, only some operation was there, but if you know how bitwise work, bitwise and work, bitwise or bitwise XOR, also some formula for this thing also. Okay, so keep it this thing in your mind, and after that we are going to write this code. Okay, so let's write a function. Let's create our function. So for creating our function we are using def keyword. So if you hover the mouse inside this, you can see that it's a keyword for def, a function definition we are going to write inside the thing, and after that how the thing will follow. Everything was written here. If you don't understand anything, then use VS Code, and if you hover our mouse inside the that keyword, the all thing about this keyword will be shown to you. Okay, you can see that everything was there, everything, arg was also there, definition was also there, and here some parameter was also there, how we are going to parameterize the function, def parameter, start parameter, function name, all the thing was there. Okay, so let's write our code. We'll leave this thing because we discuss what is function, what is def keyword, what is argument, all the thing, all the theory of function we are covered. If something was missing, then in this question series we are going to cover this all thing. Okay, so let's write the thing. So we are taken two input from user. First is x and second is y. After that, what we are going to do? We are going to simply going with the def keyword. Okay, means we are going to start our function. Then what is the function? At the very first time, we are going to let it be any name like and. No, and was the keyword, so we are not going to take and. So let it be after and this thing was there. Okay, although this was represents something, we will discuss this in uh, our another classes, but when we talk about oops concept, then we will know that what is this. Okay, so now we are going to write here a comma b. These are the parameter. Okay, make sure that these are the parameters, and after that what we are going to do? We are going to simply return. And what we are going to return? We are going to return and operation, bitwise and. So what we are going to write for bitwise and? The simply simple symbol of the, sorry, simply symbol of and. Okay, and then b was there. Okay, this thing, we are going to simply return here in the define and operation. Okay, let it be see how, what is the name of the function. So it will be symbol and or XOR. Okay, so no problem, it was anything we are going to take, it will be correct. Okay, after that we are going to create another function named as or. Okay, so or we are going to create here, and you can see that a comma b again we are going to take. And after taking a comma b, we are going to return our thing. Return means gives our output as what we are going to take output as what the thing. So we are going to write here, and we want the thing which was, let's take a example as or. Okay, not an example. Why we are taking example? There is no need of example here. Okay, so for or we are using uh, this symbol. Okay, which was with the backslash n. In your keyboard you can see this. Okay, so after that we are going to create another function which named as XOR. Okay, XOR was there. So how we are going with the XOR? If you know that the XOR symbol of XOR was where is the symbol? This. Okay, this is the symbol of XOR, and this is all the thing we are going to return. After that, let's print all the thing. Okay, so at the very first time we are going to print bitwise. Let's see in the sample is anything was written or not. No, nothing will be written. Simply the call was there. Okay, so let's take a small thing like and was. This is the and. Will show you that which type of output is this. Okay, and we are going to call and function here. And after that we are going to pass our parameters. So our uh, parameter are but here we are going to tell we are going to say that this is argument, not parameter. This was the parameter and this was the argument, means the value we are going to pass, the value we are going to perform the operation on this thing. Okay, that thing will be written here. So what we are going to write and in add, we are going to write x and y, because we are going to take input from the user with the name as x and y. And what type of argument is this? This is default argument? No, this was not default argument. If this is default argument, means that here it will be specified that a equal to 0 or something like that. Or okay, or if it was the mm, if it was the keyword means key if it was the key argument, then what how we are going to write define our key argument? For that we are going to write like here a equal to this, and means x equal to, if I am writing x is equal to x, now it's become what type of thing was this? This was the key argument, okay, but I am writing like this, so this was the positional argument, simple one, okay. And after that we are going to print the thing here also, and here what we are going to print, we are going to print or, because this was the or operator, sorry, space was not needed, because I am entering the comma here, it gives you always as a separated as a space between the string or and the output, okay, so that's why space was not required. So now we are going to write calling our or function. So simply or function we are going to call like that, and after that we are going to use a positional argument, so that's why we are writing here x and y, okay, because x and y are our output, so our inputs, okay. And after that at the last step we are going with XOR, okay. So how now we are going to call XOR function. So you can see that the simple thing we are going to write here, we are going to taking two input from the user, after that a definition for AND operation, definition for OR, definition for XOR operation, these all are for bitwise, okay, these all are bitwise AND or XOR. And now we are going to call our function, although we are writing print here because only return type was there, so that's why print was written in print A and B. So we are going to simply call our function, then the thing will be printed for you. Now we are going to check is it correct or not. Let it be first number as see what was in the sample. In the sample 6 and 3 was there, so let it be the same thing, so you can check that it gives you correct output or not. So 6, after that 3 was there, second number is 3. Oh, there is a mistake, okay, because here I am not passing the argument. So let's pass the argument x comma y. Now let's take number again 6 and second number is 3. So you can see that for AND operation we get 2, and for OR 7 XOR 5. Let's see is it correct or not. Yes, you can see that here the AND was 2 and the OR was 7 and XOR was 5. 2 7 5 was there. The same thing was also there, 2 7 5. Okay. Now I think you understand this code, how I am writing this all the thing, okay. So let's see the another question. So our next question is, here we are going to uh, minimum of 3, means that we are going to print the minimum of 3 number. We are going to create a function, although we know that how we are going to check the number is uh, minimum or not. Also a function was there for checking number is minimum or not, but here we are not going to use those function, okay, because this was the inbuilt function, but we have to create your own function. We are not going to use inbuilt function, okay. So that's why we are going to use what, we are going to use a function, okay. So what we are going to do in this question, we have to take three integer x, y and z from the user, okay. We are going to compare within three variable x, y and z, and after that we are going to write a function min of 3. Name the function is min of 3, means that minimum of 3 x, y, z. We are going to pass the parameter. After that the return the minimum among the three number using the return statement, okay. We are going to use the return statement. We are going to return the value if the value is uh, smallest one, and after that we are going to print the thing, okay. You can see that after that we are going to print the which number is in minimum, means the smallest number will be printed. In the sample you can see that here x is 4, y is 2, and 3, z is 3 was there. Okay, and our output is 2 here. You can see that the 2 will be printed. It's mean that 2 is the minimum number, simplest one. So let's write the code for this one. Let it be comment out our all code, and after that we are going to write here. Okay, so let's at the very first time, let's 3 input from the user, which was an integer type. X is equal to integer input first number. Okay, y equal to again integer input, and the second number was there. Let it be second only, because in first we are going to take only first. Let it be a separator, and here separator was not required because we are going to put a comma here. No, we are not going to put a comma, so we are going to write like that. Let it be, let remove this space. Okay, you can see that x is equal to integer input first and y equal to integer input second. Okay, and the third input was also there, named as z variable. So we are going to write integer input also was there. Integer input, what was the input? Third input was there. Okay, that's why third we are going to write here. So now we taken the input from the user. After that, what we are going to do? We are going to create a function. So let's create a function. Def minimum of, this is the function name. Okay, so def was the starting of the function, and we are going with the name of function, which is minimum of numbers or something else. What was there in the same question? In the question, you can see that minimum of 3 was the name of the function. So minimum of 3, minimum of 3 we are going to write here, and after that we are going to pass our argument. Our argument, let it be a comma b comma c was our argument. Okay, so this was our argument. Now we are going to write our code. So how we are going to check our number is minimum or not? Okay, so let it be for a. Okay, so a equal to a plus equal to here. Also let's see that, you can see that here if was there, then elif was there, then again elif was there. Okay, so I discussed this question how we are going to print the minimum of the thing, so in the previous code, but now let's see again. No problem, because here we are using a function. Okay, so that's why we are going with a new type of thing. So let if statement here, if a is greater than sorry, not greater than, less than equal to. Why less than equal to? Because we are going for a minimum. Okay, so a is less than equal to b, and why I am writing and here, you know that. Okay, because if both the two condition are true, then and then only a will be greater, not greater, is smallest. Okay, a is less than equal to c. I think equal to was not there. No, let it be equal to. Okay, because if the number was, all the number was same, then what is the our output? Our output will be that number also. Okay, if the all the thing was 2 2 2, then what is the output? Output, both the number are equal. So what we are going to print? We are going to print simply any one number. Okay, after that a colon was there. Now the body of if we are going to write here, and we are going to simply return a, means that we are going to simply return the value. And after this we are going with another condition which was for b is less than equal to a, and oh sorry, went on elif was there. Okay, so elif, now our condition was like that, and b is less than equal to which, c. So what we are going to print, or return, return, because we are going to return, we are going to return here the value b, because the value b was the output. And after that we are going with again elif was there, and here we are going to check that c is less than equal to a, and c is less than equal to what, let it be uh, b. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to sorry, we are going to simply return the thing, and the thing was c. Although if you forget the bracket here, no problem, it will be no, doesn't give you any type of error or anything. And outside the function, what we are going to do, we are going to simply call our function. So we are going to print and call our function, and here at the first time we are going to write that minimum number is minimum is, and a comma was there, then we are going to call our function. Our function is minimum of 3. Okay, simple one. And here I am passing xyz. Here we are also using what type of thing, positional argument. Let's run the code. So let it be first number as what was in the sample. In the sample 4 2 3 was there, so let it be 4, after that 2, after that 3 will be there. So minimum is 2, which was correct. Okay, so I can see that our output will be working fine and good. Okay, so these are the all type of thing about how we are going to put if else inside the function. The whole thing will be same, but the thing is different is uh, we are going to write the thing inside the our function. Okay, so the same thing will be written here. We are going with a definition, means a definition of starting of function. Function is min of 3, means minimum of this 3 number, which minimum of x, y and z. And after that we are going with if statement, where x is less than y and x is less than z, we are going to print x because it's the minimum. And similar for y and z with using elif, because if I am writing if, then each and every condition will be checked each time. Okay, but if I am writing if elif, it means that if any condition become true, after that another condition will not be checked. And here we are going to take input from the user. 3 input was there, we are going to print the thing. What we are going to print, simply call our function, so output will be 2 here, and the same output we are getting here also, minimum is 3. Okay, so this was the simple code for printing a minimum of 3 number. Now next is for maximum of 3 number. How we are going to print the maximum of 3 number? So the way we are going to print the minimum of 3 number, in the similar way we are going to print the maximum of 3 number also. So let's read the problem statement. After that we are going to see the how we are going to write the thing for maximum of 3 number. Okay, so here you can see that at the very first we are going to take 3 integer x, y and z from the user. similar as minimum. And after that we are going to write a function a maximum of 3. Okay, the function name was maximum of 3 and xyz was also there. Then we are going to return the maximum of among 3 numbers using the return statement. Okay, here we are going with same type of question was also this, but here the thing was different, which was we are going with maximum, not minimum. Okay, in previous one we are going with minimum, not a maximum. So let's edit this question because there is no need to write this code again and again. But you can write the code again because you have to learn the thing. Now for the, you can see that for maximum, what we are going to do, simply we are going to change all the symbol of minimum to maximum. Okay, less than equal to symbol will becoming the greater than equal to symbol, because here we are going with a greatest number or maximum number. So you can see that this thing was all the thing was like that. Okay, after that what we are going to do, we are going to simply let's change the name of function min to max. Okay, because we are going with max. Max was also there, and here minimum will be becoming the maximum. Maximum is this. Okay, so this will this program gives you the maximum and this program gives you the minimum. Okay, so let's run the code and see it is correct or not. So let the first number as what was in the sample, we are going to take the same thing. 2 3 and 4 was there, the same thing was there. 2 3 and 4, although the sequence was different, no problem. Because we are going with only a minimum and maximum, so at each and every time the sequence was not doesn't matter, it will gives you output out as the minimum was the minimum and the maximum was the maximum at all the time. Position was doesn't matter here. Okay, so at the very first time let's take number as 4, after that 2, after that 3 was there. So what is the maximum of 4 2 3 is, it's a 4. Okay, that's why maximum is 4 was printed. Okay, the same output 4 we are getting here also. Now let's understand how this code will work. Okay, so at a very first time we are going to create a function starting with def keyword, and we are going to write our name of the function, which was max of 3 x comma y comma 3 was there, and then if elif and else. Okay, if elif and else was there, if was there, elif was there, and again elif was there. If this condition was true, means that x was maximum number or maximum of that number. If y was true, means that y was the maximum of that number. If z was true, means that simple z was the maximum of that number. Okay, and we are going to take 3 input from the username, that's x y z. All the thing was input. Okay, all the type of input type, no sorry, all the data type of the xyz and z are integer. Okay, that's why int was there, and we are going to take input from the user, that's why input was also there. Input was also a function, which is an inbuilt function. After this completing all the type of function, all the thing about the function, we are going to see how what was the what is the inbuilt function. Okay, after this thing we are going to see the inbuilt function. There are two type of function, user defined function and inbuilt function. I told you this all type of thing. Okay, there are two type of function, inbuilt function and second one is a user defined function. So this all the type of function we are discussing is the user defined function, and after that we are going with built-in function. Okay, so there are many multiple many type of inbuilt function was there. Okay, so all type of that function we are going to discuss. So firstly see how we are going to create a user defined function. So all the thing we are going to discuss to further here, all are the inbuilt function. Okay, no, sorry, all are the user defined function. After that we are going with a built-in function. So here you can see that where I'm here. Okay, so three variable was there, all are the integer type input from the user, and print maximum of x y z. So how the flow will be goes from there. Okay, so at the very first time it will be going to print here. Okay, maximum of x y z. So the variable, the value of x will come to here, y here, and z here. And here in this side you can see that the value of x goes to x, y goes to y, z goes to z. And after that the function will be called, function will be running and check the condition. If those conditions are true, the thing will be returning, and those thing will be returning which will be printed as a output, which was 4 here. You can see that in the sample I am taking 2, 3 and 4, so we are getting 4 here. Okay, so now let's see another question which is about factorial. Okay, how we are going to write the factorial of number. We have to print the factorial after doubling. Okay, means that we are going to calculate the factorial, but we have to double the factorial. So how we are going to do this thing? Here you can see that let's read the problem statement first. After that we are going to see how the thing will be working. So at the starting we are going to take an integer as input from the user. Okay, and multiply the number by 2, then write a function factorial that return the factorial of the resultant number. It was also the simplest one. Okay, so let's see how we are going to write this thing, how we are going to solve this one. So for this question you can simply see that here we are going to create a create a function which is factorial, and we are going to calculate factorial of a, although k was there because you know that this was a parameter. Okay, so inside the function we are going to run our for loop which multiply the uh, multiply the I, means the way to write the factorial. Okay, so let's write the code so you are going to understand how the thing will be work. Okay, ऐसे उतना अच्छा से क्लियर नहीं होगा, तो पहले समझते हैं अच्छे से चीज़ों को, उसके बाद हम लोग देखते हैं कि कैसे फ्लो वर्क कर रहा है, पहले क्या चीज़ हो रहा है उसके बाद क्या हो रहा है. So let's write our code. How we are going to do, at the very first time we are going to take from the user. Okay, at the very first time we are going with the user side, we are going to create a function which is named as factorial, which was mentioned in the function, because here you can see that write a function factorial. Okay, so let's write the thing. So def was there, and after that we are going to write here define our factorial. So factorial was there, and let it be any parameter, and after that we are going to write our logic here. Okay, here now we are going to write our logic. How we are going to write our logic? we are going with for I in range a comma 0 comma minus 1, means that you know that our factorial moves from reverse order, like let it be number as 4, so it will be the factorial will be written as 4 3 2 1. Okay, and the multiplication symbol. Okay, 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 was the factorial. Okay, so you know all this thing, and it will go from starting with a to till 0, means that 0 will be not include no, sorry, so 0 will be not there. Okay, because after that 0 was there, but we are writing 0 here. So you know that if you multiply any number with 0, it will be becoming 0, so that's why we are skip this 0. Okay, so we are go to till 1. So how to do this? For this we are going to write for I in range, and our range was starting with the value, and after that 0 was there because we want to till 1 and not 0 was, we don't want 0, and after that it will be minus 1. Why the minus 1 was there? Because we want in reverse order. Okay, that's why this minus 1 was there. So now what we are going to do, we are going to simply let's create a variable here. Let it be multiply equal to 0, because the thing we are going to multiply it will be stored in this thing. Okay, you can see here also the thing we are going to multiply, means the number will be multiplied, it will be stored in this multiply. Why it is 1 here? Because the very first time the multiply will be 1, because if I am writing 0 here, it means that the number, any number will be multiplied becoming 0, so it will always gives you return as 0, but we don't need this thing. Okay, so simply we are going to write thing, let's write it here. Sorry, 0 was not there, 1 was there. Multiply into I, we are going to update the value of multiply. After that we are going to return the value of multiply. Okay, the simple thing was this. Okay, and after the outside the function, what we are going to do, at the very first time we are going to create a variable first. Okay, let it be k, because in the question k was there. K is equal to integer input number we are going to gives as a input, and after that what we are going to print, we are going to print, because here return was there, that's why we are writing print here, printing factorial of k. Okay, so if I am writing 2 here, you can see that 2 was, okay, sorry, another thing we are going to miss, because here 2 was there, because in the question it was mentioned that, you can see that in the question it was mentioned that multiply the number by 2. Okay, that's why we are writing this thing. Now when I run my code and I am writing, let's it with 2, so it will gives you 24. Okay, in the sample you can see that we have get the number as 24, because why we are getting 24, because we are going to multiply the number by 2. If I am taking the number input as 2, we are going to 2 multiply by 2, so that's the result gives you 4. Then after this thing we are going to print the factorial of that number. So number is now becoming 4, so factorial of 4 is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which gives you 2. So that's why here you can see that 2 was there, that's why this 2 was there. Okay, and this gives you output as 24. Also this was a simple one, because in this course nothing was there, simply the number is a for loop was there, where number at the very first time the value of I is 1, so I is 1, so I will be multiplied by I will be added to after multiplying added to this, not added, multiply by the number which was inside the null variable. Okay, so that's why I will be every time multiply with that number. First time I will multiply with 1, so it will become 1. After, if the value is 2, so it will be for 2, for 3, for 4. So that's why not that's why so on our code will be follow. Okay, and after that we are going to simply call our function and thing will be printed. Let's comment out this thing, this code. I think now you understand how the thing will be going to return. Now let's see how much question we left with. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's 6 question left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, after that we are going with the key takeaway. So let's discuss this 6 question. What we have to do in this question, we have to uh, simply even index character we are going to print. Okay, so how we are going to write a function of this. This is our function series, so we are going with only function type question. Anything we are going to do, we have to use function. Okay, although all the things were we are able to perform all the things without function, but here this is our function series, so function lecture, so that's why we are using function. Although it's a good habit for using function in many places where too many times of the same code is required. Okay, so at that time we are going to use function. Okay, so now let's read the problem statements. After that we are going with the question. Okay, of the solution of the code. So here we are going to take a string from the user. Firstly, what we are going to do, we are going to take a string from the user, means input from the user. Which type of input is this? This is a string input. Okay, and after that what we are going to do, we are going to write a function even index string 1. Okay, you can see that here. Wait a second. Here you can see that we are going to write a function name was given here, which was even underscore ind. Okay, means even index. We are going with this name only. Okay, so the function name was given here, and what we are going to do, we are going to what this function will do, this function will return the character at even indices. Okay, means that the character let's take an example. Okay, so that's make you a better understanding how we are going to do and what we have to do in this code. Okay, so here in the sample you can see that input python was there, means that our input is python, our string was python. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to print the, you can read the statement here. We are going to return the character at even indexes. Okay, even indexes. So here you can see that 0 to 4 is the even, so that's why only PTO is our output, so that's why PTO was there. Okay, this thing basically we are going to perform, combine into a new string. Okay, we are going to combine this thing in the new string and print the string. So this is our new string and we are going to print this output to PTO. Okay, as a string. So let's open our VS code and write this code from your own side first. After that we are going to discuss this question, how the code will be work, how the flow of the how the flow of the function will goes. Okay, so let's write this thing. At a very first, what we are going to do, we are going to create a function. How we are going to create a function? By using def keyword. Okay, we are writing def here. Why we are writing def here? Because def is a keyword which is used to create any function. Okay, why I am explaining this def in each and every code? Because this, if you forget this def keyword, means that you are not able to create any function. Okay, so make sure that make remember this thing, keep it this thing in your mind. Anything what you want to say, you have to remember this def keyword. Okay, if you're not using def keyword, it's not possible to create any type of function. Okay, so I think now you understand what is the importance of def keyword. Let's write our code. So what is the name of our function which was given here? You can see that name of function is index, sorry, not index, even underscore idx, means that even index. You can see here uh, even underscore index. Okay, so let's write here even idx means even index, ind, sorry, not idx. Here ind was there, not idx. Make sure that you follow the same logic which was same named, which was given in our sample or in our question. Okay, so you are not face any type of error for this thing also. Okay, although the error was not there, but means you can say that simple hidden test case was not ever failed. Okay, so here I am writing def keyword, after that even and index was. Okay, so let's pass any parameter, let it be str1. Okay, after that underscore and not underscore, this symbol, and after that indentation space which was of 4 space, tab space, anything you want to say, you can name them. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to here create our logic, write our logic inside the function. Okay, so first of all let's take input integer from user in outside the function. Okay, so let's create a str1. It's a variable, it's a global variable, that's why I am writing this in outside the function. Although we are going with what is local and what is the global variable in our next video. Okay, so do not confuse with what is global variable, what is local. Although I am covering some uh, main topics of main features of this global and local variable, but we will discuss in more in another video. So here str1 was there. After that what we are going to do, we are going to create a not create, we are going to take input from the user. Okay, that's why I am writing input here. Okay, and it was input from the user. Why this line was came indentation? Oh, so no, this is not for this thing. Don't worry about this. So let's see, is anything we are going to write inside the input? No, it's a blank. Okay, so let it be blank, or you can give anything like enter your string. Okay, so user was able to understand what we are going to perform. So now what we are going to do here we are going to write enter your string. Okay, now user are going to enter the string, and after that what we are going to simply do, we are going to simply print our function, because we are going with return inside the function, that's why we are writing in print. Okay, so we are going to print even even index, simply calling our even index and passing the argument as str1, which represent a string 1. Okay, the simple thing was there. Now we are going with to write our body of the function. Okay, so at a very first, what we are going to do, we are going to create a variable named any name you can give. Let it be a. Okay, a equal to, and it will be blank. Is okay. Why it will be blank? Because we are going to add the a part the those part which were even. Okay, so let's write code for this one. So we are going with condition. What was our condition? So that's why I am using if here. We know that for putting any type of condition we are going to use if and else and elif, this all thing we are going to use this thing for set any type of condition. Okay, so now I am writing here if I percentage 2 equal to 0, let it be a for loop. Okay, because we are going with each and every element. So for I in str1. Okay, now I am writing my if statement here, and my condition is if you know that what the for loop will do, what is the value of I at the very first time, and what was the string, it will be counting each and every character of the string. Okay, you know that this thing. So now I am writing my condition which was we are going to print only even number. So what we are going to write here, if we are going to take a condition with if number means I is I percentage 2 equal to 0. Okay, so I think there is some mistake. Okay, because this is a string type and this is uh, in integer type, so it will be not gives you the correct output. So let's see what we are going to do. Yes, we are going with the range 0 to length of a string. Okay, because we are performing in the index, not in the what can I say that not in the characters of the string. So that's why we are going with for I in range 0 to length of str1. Okay, so let it change this thing first. After that you are able to understand. For I in ranges start with 0 because we have to calculate, we have to check conditions for index. That's why we are writing 0 at the very first time. The value of I is 0, then 1 2 3 4, and it will be go till the length of a string. Okay, so what is the length of a string? We are going to use len function. You know that what is len function, why we are using len function. Len function is for uh, taking length of any string. Okay, so str1 was there, we are going with length of str1. Then after that we are going to check condition if I percentage 2 equal to 0, means if the index is 0 we are going to add inside the a, uh, here the a was there, so we are going to add inside the a variable. What we are going to add, we are going to add the element which was at that location, that index. Okay, so what we are going to add, we are going to add str1, not ctr, it's str1 and index I. Okay, means the value of this will be added to that. Let's this we have written our code. Let's run the code and see the output. So we, it was asking for a string, so let it be python. So here none was there. Why none was there? Because we are not going to return anything. Here you can see that we are not returning anything. At the last we are going to write the thing which was, because our function not return anything, that's why none was there, so we have to return something. Okay, so that's why I am writing here return a. Okay, because we want the value of a. Now I am getting a error, so let's do another thing. Okay, it's not a error, it's asking for input from the user. Wait a second. Here you can see that we are going to simply, a was there, then for I in range 0 to length, then after that we are going with if condition, then returning the value of a. And when I am calling my function, it will gives me the output. So why it will be not there? Let's decode this question. Okay, what the error want to say? It want to say that keyboard interpreter. Why it will not asking for the not asking for input? Let it be run again. Input, enter your string, all thing was good. Then why the thing was like that? A little bit confusion was there, so let's decode this. Why the confusion was there? Let's read the code line by line. We are writing def event index. Okay, so event index str1. Okay, after that a equal to colon was there. I think there is not any type of issue we are going to face here. So let's see why we are getting this error. Yes, here you can see that it's asking for the enter your string. We are not putting any string, that's why the error was coming. Now we are going to enter my string. So let it be string as Python, Python, enter. So PTO was there because the index where the number is even, that index will be printed. Okay, so 0, and at 0 index p was there, so that's why p was there. At 1 index, so 1 is odd, so it will be not printed. At after that index 2, that is t, so 2 is even, that's why t is printed. Then n is not printed. O is printed because it was 4 and it is a even number, so that's why 4 was there. After that n was there. So why n will be not printed? Because n was not the number, sorry, not a even number. Okay, so now you understand this code. Although my code is run, other why we are getting error? So you can see here we are not getting error. How we are not getting error? You can see that error is there. So now here you can see that when I am click on run button, it will be asking for enter the string. I am not entering the string and I am run my code again, so that's why it will be failed. Okay, that's why it will be failed and it will be gives me the error. Although this was not a type of error, any type of that's why keyboard error was there. Keyboard entry the input interrupted, means keyboard the user want input, the input was not there, means that computer will be blanked what we have to do. So this thing was there, that's why this thing happened. So here let's see now, you can see, understand the code. Def even index str1 a equal to a blank string. Why this is blank? Because we are going to add those character which was at the position of index even. Okay, so how we are going to check even index? By using I percentage 2 equal to 0, means number is divisible by 2, means that it was even number. And if it was not divisible by 2, it is odd number. You know this all the thing. So after that, what we are going to do? We are going to simply take input from the user, and after that we are going to call our function. Simple thing was there, but a confusion was there because of uh, again and again clicking on the run button. Okay, so that's why we are getting error. You can see that. Okay, so now it is visible that we are getting a thing which was called this type of error was there, because we are pressing again and again run button. We are not entering any string here, because it's asking for a string, but we are not putting any type of string here. That's why and again we are going to run our code, so that's why it will gives you the error. So now I think you understand the logic of this thing, and also decode my error. Okay, so decoding error is also the biggest part of our coding journey. Okay, now let's move to our next question. So let's see what is the next part, next question. So our next question is to like simple of that one, which where we are going with odd integer. Okay, odd index character. Here we are printing even. We are going with even index, but here we are going with odd index. Okay, so the similar question was this also. If you understand the previous one, then you are able to solve this question also. So uh, do it from your own side. Let's and if you're not able to write the code for this question, so now let's see how we are going to write the code. So for this we are going to take a string from the user. After that we are going to write a function odd index str1, means the function name is odd index and the str1 is the parameter. Okay, after that what we are going to return? We are going to simply return the character at odd indices. Okay, the same question was this, only the single type of difference was there, which was even and odd. Okay, so we are going to combine into a new string. Done. So same sample was there. For even we are printing t, the output was p, t and o. For odd it was gives you y, h and n. Here you can see that, because this all three are the index of uh, odd index. Okay, so the same and simple code was also there. So let's write the code for this one also. So we are firstly going with the def keyword, which represent that we are going to create a we want to create a function. Okay, we are going to using def keyword. Def odd was there, odd index. Okay, let it be int, because in question you can see that name of function is given as so odd int, means odd index. Okay, so odd index and str1 is our, let it be str1 is our uh, parameter. And what we are going to do after the str taking str1, we are going with a colon, and after that we are going with indentation space, and we are going with to write our body of the function. Okay, so here also we are going to take another variable, because we are going to store the thing in another variable, store the value, store the character which was in the index, odd index. We are going to store only those character, and after that we are going to print in the string. Okay, so that's why we are creating another variable named as a equal to. Okay, and for I in range, why I in range was there? Because this is a loop. Okay, you know that for is a loop. Why we are using for loop here? Because we want to move with all, go through the all indexes like at 0 to till the length of a string. So now we are going to write here 0 to length of a string, 0 to length of a string, length of str was there. So I think you can see that str1 was there, okay, not ste. So now you can see that for I in range, our range was starting with 0 and it will be go till length of string 1, okay, although at that time we are not creating str1, or so we are going to create also at after this thing. Now what we are going to check, so let's write our condition. If I percentage 2, if number is not divisible by, okay, because we are going with a odd number. If number is not divisible by 0, means that I percentage 2 not equal to 0. What we are going to do, we are going to simply a plus equal to str1, okay. Why this thing was there? Because we are going to add in the variable a. What we are going to add? The index thing, okay, at that position what the thing was there, that thing we are going to print here, okay. So now you can see that if I percentage 2 is not equal to 0, means it's the odd number, and if it is the odd number we are going to add that character into the a, okay. And after that what we are going to simply return the thing. What we are going to return a. That's all for the code. And let's take this all are the logic only, okay. This is the logic part, from here to here it's a logic part, and was the syntax of you can say that syntax of function. This is the syntax of for loop, syntax of if, and this all the condition, okay. So now what we are going to do here, we are going to simply write or take input from the user. So named it as str, so let it be s only, okay. I I want to see you I want to show you something, okay. So let it be s only, s equal to input enter a string was there, okay. And now what we are going to do, we are going to simply print or call our function which was odd function, odd index, and str1 was there at the in the index. So let's see this thing, okay. So I am running my code and I expect a I am expecting a, you can say that error, okay. So now you can tell me what type of error and what error and where I am expecting a error, okay. So now enter a string, so let it be Python. Python was my string, so you can see that a mistake was there, name error. Why it was there? So you can see that simply here you can see that one was there, okay, str1 was there. This was not required. Why this was not required? Because you can see that here I am creating the variable with s, so we have to pass the argument here with s, okay. And it will be not give you error. Why? Because this is a parameter, it will be work inside this only, okay. The value of s is passes to the str1, and all the function are called using, and the function will going to use the value of s only, okay. So now it will be correct. Let's write Python. Python. So you can see that our output is YHN. Okay, let it be any other character. Let it be name, which was Aman. Okay, so here you can see that MN was there only because at the index M and N, our our index is 0, not 0, our index is odd. That's why this two part will be only printed. Now you understand this code also. Hmm. Let's see it once again in our uh, PPT. So let's see here. At a very first time, we are going to simply define our odd index str1. After that, we are going with a equal to blank. Okay, means that blank string means that we are going to add something at every iteration. We are going to add some element, some character inside the a variable. And what are that character? For I in range 0 to length of str1, we are going with if I percentage 2 is a odd number. Okay, means the number is odd, we are going to add the element as dot as those index. Okay, so that thing we are going to add here. After that, we are going to simply return that thing, that return that uh, string, or you can say that the variable, the value inside the variable will be our output. Okay, and after that, we are going with str1 equal to input, because input was required for this thing, for giving the value to the function. Okay, so that's why input was there from the user. After that, we are going with the print. We are going with print odd index is str1, means that simply call our function with the parameter, or we can say that with the argument. Okay, now you understand this code also. And if any problem, comment section is open, and you can comment the thing after writing with the time span. Okay, so I can solve your problem. Now you can see that here another question, which was what we have to do in this question. In this question, we are going with the proceeding character. Okay, what is meant? If you don't understand proceeding character, so let's read the question and understand what is proceeding character. Okay, so here you can see that what we are going to do, we are going to simply define a function place value. Okay, name of function is place value, and str1 comma index was there. And after that, what we are going to do, this all are the parameter, str1 and index was the parameter. Okay, and those parameter we are going to take input from the user for that parameter. Okay, and given a string is then given a string. Okay, means that the string was given and the index was also given, and we are going to print the character precedence to that index. Okay, so what we are going to do in this question, we have to print the uh, character precedence, means that the if you pass the any character, means let it be here you can see that our string was python and index was 5. So what is the character precedence, means that we are going to print the thing which was present at that index. Okay, so precedent character is equal to a string of 4, means that this is work in the formula of n minus 1. You know that n minus 1, you know this thing, that's why we are writing 4 here. So what was the thing at the position of 4? So 0 1 2 3 4. So at the position of 4, o was there, so that's why output was 4. Okay, I think you will understand the what we are going to do in this question. Okay, so here you can see that uh, if the index is in this question, you can see that in the index is greater than or equal to a string of length, we are going to print length out of range. Okay, so here for this we are using if else statement. Okay, so let's write this code, although this was a simple code. Okay, so let's write the code and understand how the control flow work here. Okay, so let's uh, create a function named as what is the name of the function? The name of function is place value. Okay, so I am writing here place value, and two argument was there. First argument is index. No, value was there. Let's see, first thing was what. So here you can see that first was a string one, means that the value, you can simply say that, and after that index was there. Okay, so str1 was there, and after that index was there. And now we are going with our body part, which was we are going to check if condition. uh, what we have to perform, we have to simply check that the number is the index we are going to pass, means the index we are going to pass, it's in the range or not. For that we are going with the len function. Here you can see that if else was also returned here. So when we are going to print else, if the out of the range, so what is our range, how we are going to calculate our range? To calculate our range, we are going with index less than length of str1. Okay, index less than equal, not equal to length of str1 was there. And if this condition true, what we are going to print, simply we are going to print that to, okay. So what we are going to print, we are going to simply print the element at that index. So that's why we are writing str1 index minus 1, str1 index minus 1. Okay, str1 and index minus 1 was there. So now you can see that we are going to print the that position, character of that position. Okay, and if this condition was not true, so what we are going to do, we are going to simply print enter a valid index. Yeah, no, index out of range we are going to print, index out of range. Okay, so we are writing here index out of range, means that it will simply represent indexes not in the range. So that's why this thing will be printed. And after writing the logic of our code, we are going with the thing uh, input from the user. And input was there, and we are going to simply print. Yes, we have to also take input for the index. Okay, so index equal to input, and after that we are going to print the thing. What we are going to print, we are going to simply call our function. So what is the name of function? Name of function is place value, and the argument is str1 and index. We are using place here. Okay, position argument here. If you know what is position argument, then you will understand why this thing will be written like that. Let's run the code and see the output. So it's asking for the input from the user side. So let it be any character, let it be Python. So the index, let it be 5. So we are getting error here. Why we are getting error here? Because yes, the error is expected. because here in the PPT you can see that here it was written like that, index is less than length of str1. Okay, and after that print, we are going to print str1 and index of -1. So the same thing we are going to take it as here. So let's write this thing. Let's solve our code. Let's debug the code. Okay, you can say this thing like. So what I'm going to write here. Okay, the error was for this part. Why this gives you error? Because index is of integer type, so we have to write here int. Okay, integer input was there, so that's why this thing gives you error. So now I think you understand why error was there, and let's see if error was solved or not. So let's run the code again and take it with Python. Python. Python was there, and after that index was 5 was there. So you can see that none was there. Why none was there? I will understand you why none was there in this question. We forget the return type, so that's why this will gives you a none value. Okay, so I think now you understand this code. So we have to only add return type, and it will be able to, we are able to take our output from this thing. So now what we are going to do, now we are going to move our next question, and here we are going to practice combine 5 character. Okay, how we are going to combine 5 character? You know that what is join? So join is simply used to join the thing. Okay, many thing we are if you want to join together, we are using join function. Okay, let's read the problem statement. After that we are going with the solution, how the code will work, and we are left with only 3 questions, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so only 3 questions was there. So let's see how the thing will be there. So now let's see the code. Okay, firstly we are going to seeing let's see the problem statement. Okay, so in the problem statement you can see that we are going to define a function word. Okay, means that we are going to create a function word that take 5 single length character as input. Okay, it will be taking this function will take 5 single length character from the user. Okay, and what we are going to do, we are going to from the user and return the 5 letter word formed by combination them in the sequence. So here so our next question is about to combine 5 character. Okay, so what we are going to do in this question, let's read the problem statement. After that we are going to see that how we are going to solve this code. Okay, so we are going to simply define a function word, means that we are going to create a function name as one. After that what we are going to do, we are going to uh, take 5 single length character. Okay, single length character we are going to take input from the user, and from that input we are going with to from the user. Okay, we are going to take input, and after that what we are going to do, we are going to return the 5 letter word formed by combining them in sequence. Okay, means that we are going to take 5 input from the user, which was a single character. Okay, and after that we are going to attach to all the attached or add all the character. Okay, so very simple type of code was this. So for that we are going with let's see how we are going to create this thing. So for that we are going to simply write the function here. Okay, for writing function we are going to simply we are going to write define our function. So def The function name was given as word, so let it be word. After that, parameter was I think we have to use this. Okay, star arcs we are going to use. Why we are using this? Because we don't know the number of input from the user, although we know there is 5 input from the user side, but let it be you don't know. Okay, so that's why we are writing this thing here. And for after this we are going to return what? We are going to simply returning all the combining all the word, means that if word is codes, okay, so after combining it will be codes. Okay, so simple thing we are going to do. So let's write the thing here. So for that okay, you can see that this thing will be written like that. If what is mean, it's mean that we are going with a single uh, not single, we are going with empty, you can say that empty string, and we are going to join in the empty string every arg value. Okay, so that's why what is the arg? The arg was the parameter, you know this thing. Okay, so those things will be added in this function. Here this in the question you can see that the same thing we are going to perform, and after that we are going to take input from the user. So let's take 5 input from the user. So let it be a b c d e. Okay, so a equal to input, everything was the of the type of a string, so that's why we are simply writing input here. Okay, so b is equal to input, c equal to also input, and then again d equal to input. After that e equal to also input. So now here you can see that 5 input we are going to take here. After that what we are going to do, we are going to simply call our function. How we are going to call our function? Let's write it print here. Okay, and what we are going to print? We are going to simply call our function. So name of function is word, so I am writing word here because our function is word. And after writing word here, what the thing we are going to perform? The thing we are going to perform here is you can see that let it be a b c d e. Okay, because we are taking a b c d and e here. Okay, so that's why we are writing a b c d e here. So now the 5 thing was the passes. I passed 5 variable, 5 arguments, so you can see that, and the parameter I am creating it with star arcs, so that's why we are able to enter 5 or 6 or 7. The number is depend on you how much input you want to gives. Okay, so let's run the code and see the output. So it's asking for input. We are not able to understand what it want to say because we are not passing anything. We are not passing anything here. Okay, so what the user want? So let the right thing here. At the very first, let it be C, then O, then D. Let's run the code again. C O D E. Okay, so you can see that we are writing CODES means code, so code was printed. You can see that no separation was there, it will be becoming a string. Or we are writing a input as a single string, all are the single character, you can see that. But after printing it will become a combination of all the string, okay, which was CODES codes. The same thing was there also. Here you can also see that how the thing was, that the thing was simply we are going with def keyword, and word was our function name, then arg star args or star I. If you want anything you are able to take here, not arg is required, but star is required. Okay, make sure that star was there. Only star was also a correct way to take multiple parameters. So, and after that we are going to return a blank string dot join args, means that each and every time our function will work, and for first time, at the very first time, a will be added, then b, then c, then d, then e. Okay, so this thing will be happened here. After that we are going to take input from the user, which was named as a b c d e, and after that we are going to simply call our function, means that we are going to print our function, because we are going with a return in this return in our function. Okay, so that's why we are writing print word abcde. Okay, this abcd is our arguments. Okay, let's just see our another question, which was about to decimal formatting. Okay, so now let's understand how we are going with to decimal formatting. So in this question you can simply see that we are going to take a, now let's read the problem statement first. So we are going to take a 4-digit integer n as input. Okay, and write a function decimal n that return the number divided by 1000 formatted to two decimal place. We want to output as two decimal place after performing this all operation. Okay, so how we are going to write code for this one? So for this question you can simply see that we are going with def decimal here, and d equal to length of strn. Then why we are using d equal to length of strn? Because length of, we want to length of a string, and n was, why n was there, because n string was the, n was the number. Okay, and str create the n in the string format, means that if the number was like 5, so it will be becoming a string type like this. Okay, so if number is 5, and after converting it in a string, it will become 5, but string 5, which was represented as this thing. Okay, so you can clearly see the difference between this 5 and this 5. Okay, the difference is clear. You can differentiate it, which was the string type and which was the integer type. Okay, so here you can see that we are going with the def decimal n, then d equal to length of a string n, then p equal to 10 10 to the power d minus 1. Why it was there? Because it is mentioned in the question, that's we have to do this thing. Okay, so you can see in the sample also 5432 percentage 1000 equal to this. So the output will be, after converting to decimal places, our output will be this. Okay, so what we are going to return, we are going to simply return n, n divided by p. So p is the this thing, and we are going to convert it in two decimal places, that's why dot 2f was there. Okay, so after writing all this thing, what we are going to do here, we are going to simply take input from the user named as n equal to integer input. Okay, you can see here we are going to take input integer from the user. After that we are going to print decimal n. Decimal n means that we are going to call our function. Decimal was the function name and n was the arguments. Okay, so that's why we are writing, if we are writing print here. Okay, if I am writing print here and do this thing, then what thing will happen here? If I am writing like that, then we have to simply call our function. Means that we are writing only this part we are going to write. This print statement will be not required. Okay, why print will be not required? Because print will be in the function part. Okay, now let's see our next question and the last question. Yes, this is our last question, so let's see our last question, what we are going to do in our last question. So here you can see that we are going with the verify odd even rule. Okay, also this was the simplest one, only the multiple line was there. So let's read the statements. After that we are going to see how the code was written for this one. You can see that here we are going to define a function named as verify. ABC was the parameter. If ABC are all odd, means that all the numbers are odd, three number was there. If the all numbers are odd, we are going to return their sum. Okay, first condition is was, if the all number is odd, we are going to sum the number. And the second condition, you can see that if ABC are even, all are the even, what we are going to do, we are going to simply product will be printed. And otherwise, if the ABC was the combination of odd and even, let it be 1 2 3, okay, or 4 6 1. So it is like that. So what we are going to do, we are going to simply return invalid here, invalid type we are going to simply return. So in sample you can see that input was there named as a equal to 4, b equal to 3, c and c equal to 5. So if a 4 3 and 5 was there, means that uh, a is even and bc is odd. It means it will gives you mixture of odd even. So what was the output as per the question? So as per the question, the output will be invalid. So that's why you can see that here invalid was printed. Okay, so now let's see how we are going to write code for this one. So here wait a second, let's change the color of the. Okay, now you can see that here the def was there. Sorry, it was not visible. Let me change this. Let it be this color. Yes, you can see that. If def was there, means that we are going to create our function. So our function is created, and after that what the thing was going on, we are going to create a function named as verify ABC. We are going to verify, these are the parameter. After that a colon was there, then an indentation space, means that the body of you can say that the body of function will be started after the this indentation space. And you can see that if the condition was written in if this condition were true, we are going to return product. If this condition be true, means the number is odd, we are going to return the addition. Otherwise we are going to print invalid. Okay, so let's see what is the condition. The condition, you can see that here, if a percentage 2 equal to 0, means that the number is even. Okay, or a percentage 2 equal to 0, means that the number is also even. And also for c was there, if all the number is 0, then and then only this will return you product of all the three number. Why? Because and we are using here. Okay, in this place we are using and here. What is the function of work? The work will be the and will be gives the output only all the condition are true. Okay, and if the all the condition are true, it means that the number is all the number are even. So for all the number of even, what we have to do, we have to simply multiply the three number which was a, b and c. Okay, that's why we are going to simply multiply that number here. And after that for odd number, you can see that a percentage 2 not equal to 0, means if number is not divisible by 2, it's simply means that it was the odd number. Okay, so we are checking for a, b, c, all the three number. If all the three number is odd number, what we are going to do here, we are going to simply return a plus b plus c, means that we are going to return the sum of all the three number. Okay, if number is even, we are going to print multiplication of all three number. If number is odd, we are going with addition of all the three number. And after that, at the very last, if the number is mixture of odd number and even number, then we are going to print invalid. Okay, so that's why in the else part, in else block, you can see that we are going to return invalid. Now we are creating a b c variable and taking input integer from the user in all the three part, and after that we are going to simply print verify abc, means that argument we are going to pass here, which was abc, means that the value of abc will be at the place of abc and the value of abc will be moved to the place of this abc, means that this parameter. Okay, the value of argument will be goes to the parameter. And now this will be all about our code. This is the function. I think now you understand what is the function. Okay, so now we have covered all the question and all the theory part also. So let's see a overview of the today lecture. So today at the very first we are going with definition of function, how we are going to create function. This thing we can see in this video. And after that we are going with the return function, how we are going to return the value. Okay, and after that arg and key arg, means that a keyword argument like positional argument or keyword argument or default argument, this thing we are discuss. Okay, after that we are going with some practice question, which was this one. Okay, so these all are our practice question. You can see that here hands-on was written. What the hands-on means this question we have to solve from your on-site also. Okay, so that's all for the function. Thank you everyone. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about recursion. In previous video we have covered with our function, and in this video we are going with our recursion, and after that we are going with our math module, means some mathematical function. Like you can see that example was there. Here you can see that math.py, it gives the value of pi. We are going to import maths, so this thing we are going to learn about mathematics module, means how we are going to import math library and how we are going to apply a function of math like pi and so on. So let's start with our video. Today we are going to talk about what is the math module. After that we are going to discuss what is recursion. Okay, and then we are going with direct and indirect recursion. These are the type of recursion. Okay, and after that we are going with some practice problem. So let's start with our video. And at a very first you can see that here a program was there. What we have to do in this program, we are going with the we are going to print the value and data type of each mathematical constant in math module. Okay, like pi, e means exponential, inf and nan was there. Okay, so how we are going to use this function, so let's see this thing in this video. You can see that at the very firstly we are going with the import math, means that we are uh, we want the math library, we are importing our math library. Okay, so this import math was a very important thing. You have to write this thing if you want to use any mathematical formula or anything. So you have to write uh, import math. After that we are going with print pi math.py. This was the way to call the value of pi, and the type of math.py is what, it's a, you know that it's a float, because the value of pi is 3.14 and something. Okay, So after that we are going with exponential power, so that's why math.e was there, and type will be always there. Why type was there? Because in the question it is mentioned that we have to print the type. Okay, although this is not the full question, but the question want to say that using a math library we are going to print the value of pi, e, inf and nan. Okay, so after that you can see that here we are going with the print inf, means that this thing will be printed as it is. Okay, in the sample you can see that our constant will be printed as it is, like pi, e, int, nan. Okay, and after that the value was there. Which type of value was that? So the value will be taken from this side. You can see that mat.py, mat.e, mat.inf, mat.nan. Okay, so mat.nan and mat.inf was also there. So inf and nan. Nan means not a number. Okay, so this all the thing are, these are the four are the mathematical, you know that this all the thing pi, e, inf and nan. Okay, so after that we are going with type. So you can see that type was the type of all these four are float type. Okay, you can simply say that the pi, e, inf and nan all are the float type. Okay, so now let's see how many function are there in math module. Basically there are many function in math module, but here some important function are mentioned here. Okay, so you can see that here a very first thing was math.seal. What math.seal will help you? So it will gives you a smallest integer with. Okay, and after that we have a floor. Okay, so how we are going to write this? We have to write this also with using math.float. Make sure that at the starting of our program we are going with the import math. Okay, then and then only this all thing will be work fine. So now here you can see that what floor do. Floor gives you a integer. Okay, largest integer. And GCD, you know what is GCD? GCD means greatest common factor, means HCF, highest common factor, greatest common factor, you can say anything. Okay, so math.gcd, then the value of a and b, means you know that two value are required for uh, calculating GCD. That's why the inbuilt GCD function was there in mathematics. So if you want to, if you in the question it is mentioned that you have to print the GCD, so you have to use import math. After that math.gcd, the value of a and the value of b. Okay, so it will gives you greatest common divisor. Okay, after that we have a factorial. What is factorial? You know that a factorial is the, I want to calculate factorial of 5. What is a factorial of 5? Factorial of 5 is like uh, you know this thing, that factorial of 5 is 5 multiply by 4 multiply by 3 multiply by 2 multiply by 1. Okay, I think you know this all the things because we done some question based on the factorial. So this is the factorial of 5. The resultant will be the factorial of 5. So in math there is a factorial formula. So you can know that you can write like that, math dot factorial, and the value which you want to print the factorial of that number, means here I am taking example of 5. So if you write at the position of n5, so it will gives you the factorial of 5. Okay, so now what we have also some trigonometric function. So let's see, another was there, math dot trunc. Okay, means that it's help to truncate. You know that what is truncate, I will discuss in data type and some operation in the list. I am discussing this thing, what is truncate, what is this thing. Okay, so a trunc function was in the math also, which helps to truncate x to its integer part. Okay, means that it will remove all the decimal part. It will gives you only integer part. Okay, And now here you can see that a trigonometric was there. Okay, some trigonometric function was also there. You know that what is sine, cos, tan, all these things. Okay, so there are six type of trigonometric function. Okay, so how we are going to import this? First we are going with import math. After that we are going to write math dot sine x, means that it will be converting the sine x to radians. Okay, means that the sine x was the degree. Okay, so it will be convert this thing in the radians. And simply for cos, tan, cosec, although cosec was there and cot was there, so all the thing was there. Okay, so simple thing was this. Writing syntax was also very simple. Simply like mat dot sine the value of in degree, mat dot sine 30, mat dot sine this type of thing you can write like that. Okay, so this will gives you correct output. Okay, in the radian. Now we have some power and logarithmic. Okay, so power and logarithmic means you can see that power, how we are going to calculate power. You know what is power, and what is the 2 raised to the power is the 2 raised to the power 2, means what is the solution? The solution is 4. Answer is 4. Okay, so this type of thing we can calculate using POW. Okay, means power. Okay, so here you can see that mat.exp x was there. It will return exp means exponential power. Okay, it will return you e to the power x. Okay, so the value we are going to put in the position of this x, or in this bracket, it will be in the power of e. Okay, and after that we have mat.x base. How we are going with the base means if you want to change this e, so we are going with we are going with log function. So we are to write x, after that a bracket was there, then the base you want, the base is required. If 10 is required, then we are going to write 10 here. Okay, and the value of x will be always at the starting. So after that we have a important, which was the mat.pow, means the power. Okay, power of xy. It will result you x to the power y, always a float value. Why it is always float value? Because if you write to 2 raised to the power 2, what it gives you? It will gives you 4, but it was not like that. It was like 4.00 is our output. That's why it's a float type. Okay, after that you can see that we have a square function. Okay, in mathematics, how we are going to write the import, how we are going to write the square? sqrt. Okay, means that is square root of mathematics. We can any value we can write like that. It will returns you under root of x. Okay, if you write 25 is sqrt 25, what is the return? It return 25. So the value of this is 5. Okay, although we have some angular conversion. Okay, what is angular conversion? How we are going with the angular conversion? Let's see. It was a very simple thing. Although you can see how we are going with trigonometric to radian, trigonometric degree to radian. Now let's see how we are going with degree to radian. For degree to radian, you have to write mat dot degree of x, and after that radian to degree was there. It will convert radian to degree. We are going to pass at the position of x radian. Okay, means mat dot degree pi by 2, so it will gives you result in degree, means 90 degree. Okay, so it was like that. And if another was there, which was radian to pi, so you can see that it was used for degree to radian. So mat dot radian, then we are passing the radian here. After that we are, what was our result? No, we are taking here degree, and what the result we are expecting? We are expecting the result in radian, because we are using radian. Radian function is used to take output in radian. Okay, and degree is used to take output in degree. Okay, degree convert radian to degree, and radian convert degree to radian. Okay, so now let's discuss about a very important topic, which was part of our function. Okay, you can say that it's also the part of our function. So what is recursion? Why we are using recursion? So basically there are two type of recursion, normal type of function. There are two type of function. Okay, so normal function and recursive function. What was in the normal function? A normal function is called by another function. Means that if you write a function, let's see a example. Now here you can see that if this thing was written here, okay, so it means that we are going to create a function, and if I am calling this function from my side in another function, it's mean that it's a normal function. Okay, the the function we are studying, this was the normal function, and recursion function we are discussing. Okay, so this is the normal function. Like we are writing here def equal to not equal to def I. Okay, def I, then colon, indentation space was there. After that we are going to write the thing like anything like print. Okay, we are going with the print here. So we are going to print anything. You can take like let it be 2. Okay, and if I want to call this function, I have to write, I have to no, yes. So you can see that here I am printing 2. So if I want to call the my function, what I am writing? I am writing simply I. After that what we are doing, we are writing this. Okay, this is the way to call the normal function. But what the different thing was in the recursive function? In recursive function you can say that it will be call the function itself. Okay, and gives the value back to the function. Means that if the you are creating a recursive function, although you can see some example based on the recursion, so this will gives you those will gives you better understanding. Now let's discuss. We are discussing theory first, after that we are going with the example. So you can simply say that recursion was a basically a recursion was a thing which call itself. Okay, we have we can use a recursion function inside the function within the function we are going to use. Every recursion function must evaluate stop calling itself once condition is met. Okay, so this all the things about the recursion. Let's see the importance of recursion. Why we are using recursion? Because recursion self calling is mandatory. In the recursion, self calling is mandatory. Okay, if you want to write a function for, let's take an example of factorial. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to call our function again in the same function. So it will be only done by the help of recursion. Okay, that's why the importance of this is the importance of recursion. And after that you can see that user defined only, means that recursion is not a built-in function. Okay, we are any function is not a building any building function, not a recursion. We have to user defined only. Okay, based on the condition it will initiate, although this was the function of this is the function of function. Okay, memory allocation separately, means that it will be differentiate the local variable and global variable, stack evaluated order, and stack overflow risks. Okay, these all are the important point of when using recursion. Make sure that we are following this 6 point to create any type of recursion. And let's see how many type of recursion. So there are basically two type of recursion, in direct recursion and indirect recursion. What is direct recursion? You can see that definition was written here. The function call itself directly. Okay, once the function is involved, calling itself until the condition is met. Okay, it's a direct recursion. We had discussed this thing here and here also. So we are talk about this direct recursion. Now let's see What is indirect recursion? So indirect recursion is two or more function call each other in the circular manner. Okay, means that two function are written. Here you can see the example. Let's see the example of direct recursion first. Okay, what is the syntax of direct recursion? For direct recursion, you can see that we are writing a def fund. Okay, and after that, if condition, then any condition you want, and after that we are calling our function inside the function. So does it gives you correct output? Yes, because it is recursion, that's why it will sorry, it was valid. Okay, so direct recursion call was here. And if I am writing a function here, what is indirect? Let's see the example of indirect function, how we are going with the indirect function. So you can see that simply here we are going with a definition of a function, like let it be fun1. Okay, it was our function. After that a condition was there, any condition you want you can write it here. Okay, after that we are called the function 2, but where is the function 2? Where function 2 is the here. Okay, not in this function. Does it gives you the output? Yes, it will gives you the output, but it is the indirect type of recursion, means that we are calling the function another function in another function. Okay, we are calling function 2 in function 1, and we are calling function, you can see that here, function 3 in function 2 and function 1 in function 3. Okay, so this is the way to write indirect recursion. Now let's see the advantage of recursion. Okay, means that what is the advantage and what is the helpful thing for recursion, using of recursion. So recursion is readable and maintainable. Okay, means that you want to change anything, you can easily do that, but operation was not there. We have to means that if you get any type of error, you can easily find that, because it gives you more readability than the function. Okay, so that's why we are using recursion. Compact code means that it will be compact our code, reduce the line of code. Okay, complex logic can be expressed only consciously. Okay, means that if the statement was too long, and we have to not write the statement again, we are simply call our same function, so it will be complete our logic. Okay, so all better for divider and consequential problem. Okay, and after that you can see that the example of recursion, in which thing we are going to use. In the factorial calculation we are going to use recursion. In the Fibonacci series sequence generator we are going to use recursion. In the tree graph and in tower of Hanoi. Okay, tower of Hanoi, in this thing we are going to use recursion, although there are many things, but these are the some examples where the recursion used. Okay, so let's discuss a problem, how we are going to use our recursion and how we are going to write our recursion. Okay, so let's discuss this thing. So see that you can see that here our statement was written. Let's read the statement. After that we are going with the problem statement. Okay, no, this was the problem statement. After that we are moving with the solution. So let's see the problem statement. So you can see that here, complete the body of recursion function. Okay, using recursion, means that we are going to create a function named as recur and then fact. Okay, so this is the name of our function. Using recursion we are going to uh, uh, using recursion we are going to create this function. And what is this thing in the function? Then call it in the main program. Okay, we are going to call the function. If the input negative, print factorial not exist for negative number. Okay, if the number is negative, we are going to print factorial not exist for negative number, and otherwise we are going to calculate the factorial. So how we are going to calculate the factorial? What is the logic of factorial? You can see that I am discussed this thing here. Factorial was written like that. Factorial of 5 is 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 1. Okay, So now let's see how we are going with this thing. So how we are going to calculate factorial? Let's see first this thing. So you know that the factorial is a multiplication of the factorial of 5, means the factorial of 5 is written as, you know, 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. Okay, this is a way of calculating factorial of 5. Okay, we are taking example of 5, so that's why I am writing 5 here. Now what we are going to do, we are going to check we are going to do this question with the help of recursion. So you can simply see that here is this is the 5. Okay, so let it be 5 here, 5 multiplied by, and you can see that this is a factorial of 4. This all are the factorial of 5, and this all are the factorial of 4, and this all are the factorial of 3. This all are the factorial of 2, and this is the factorial of 1. Okay, so how we are going to write this thing? So you can simply say that we are going to call our function again. It's a formula of n minus 1. Okay, 1 into factorial of 1 into factorial of 1, not 1. We are going to calculate factorial of 5. So 5 into factorial of n minus 1 means 4. 5 multiplied by factorial of 4 gives you the correct output. Okay, I think you understand the logic. Okay, now let's see how we are going to write the put our logic in the code. So we are defining at the very first line, we are defining our function named as recur fact. So we are passing a parameter n here. After that we are writing our condition. If n equal to 1 or n equal to 0, we return 1. What it means? It means that if the value of n is 1, so what is the factorial of 1? It will be 1 only. And what is the factorial of 0? It was always 1. Okay, so the factorial of 1 and factorial of 0 is fixed, which was 1. Okay, so it will returns you 1. Now else was there. Why the else was there? Because you can see that here we are writing for another numbers. Okay, for 1 and 0 the thing was this, and if the number was not 1 and not 0, if it was 2, 3, 4, 5 or any one. Okay, so how we are going to calculate? We are going to simply return you can see that we are going to simply return n multiply by, what is n? The value of n is 5 here. Let's take an example of 5. So 5 was there, 5 multiply by, we are calling the same function inside the same function. This is this function, we are going to call our this function inside the same function. So 4 multiplied by recursion function of n minus 1 means 4. Okay, so it will gives you recursion of 4, and after that we are going to multiply recursion factorial of 4 with n means 5, so it will gives you factorial of 5. Okay, correct. And after that we are going with our number variable integer input num, you know this thing. So and if number is less than 0, we are going to enter the number. If number is less than equal to 0, not equal to, less than 0, because in equal to it gives you output as 1. Okay, and here you can see that if number is less than 0, we are going to print factorial not exist for negative number. Simple thing was this. Okay, factorial was not exist because this thing was the mention in the question in here, so that's why this statement was there. Else we are going to print factorial, and we are going to call our function, and we are passing parameter as number. Okay, so this is all the thing how we are going to calculate our function. This is the some sample was there, so you can dry run this code in your pen paper, so it will gives you the more clarity how the thing will be moved from where to where. Okay, also you can write this code in your any code editor like Visual Studio Code or any GBT compiler, so it will, and it will gives you more clarity. And if you want to do some debugging, then also although you can do this debugging, So it will gives you the understanding where to where our cursor move. Okay, now let's see the question. Okay, read this question, and after that which option is correct gives write this thing in our comment section. Which of the statement about recursion are actually correct? Okay, there are four statements were there, although answer was there, but let's see all the thing. After that we are going to see which was the correct option. So indirect recursion involve only one function calling itself separately. Is it correct? No. We see here this thing here in the, where was the thing? Yes, you can see that we are going to call another function in the another function. In function 1 we are going to call function 2, we are in function 2 we are going to call in function 3. So this condition was false. Okay, now let's see the another example, which was a successful recursion function can be written without a base criteria. No, it's not like that, because the condition why the region was also returned here, you can read this thing. Without a base criteria, the function would call itself forever and crash with a stack overflow. Okay, means that the ending criteria was not there, so means that our recursion was run infinite times, so it maybe crash your system. Okay, and recursion is always more memory efficient than no, it was not like that, it will take less memory. Okay, so at the last you can see that every recursive call argument should move closer to base criteria. Yes, it was correct. Why? Because this is a recursive step, one of the two property of a well defined recursion function. Okay, so that's all about recursion and maths module. So thank you everyone.